The biggest bar that I can give anybody listening, and this I'm telling you will exponentially increase the success that you have in anything, is understand. Whenever you want to do something new, whenever you want to start a new business and you get that anxiety, you get that stress, you get that pain in your chest, a brain starts moving and running, understand that you can do anything you put your mind to. We heard that cheesy thing growing up. It's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. That's motivation. You can do anything you put your mind to because of this. The only way that you can fail is not starting or giving up. You want to get in better shape? How can you fail? Don't start working out and eating healthy or give up once you do it. And you can use that variable with anything and everything, and it works. It's proven. Yes. Right? I didn't create it. It's just how life works.
What if I told you for $1, I will introduce you to hundreds of entrepreneurs every single morning this week? From all across the country, you'll be able to talk to hundreds of entrepreneurs, and I'll coach you. I'll coach you for $1 this whole week, and I'll introduce you to some of my successful friends for $1 this week. Would you take part in that? Well, go to themorningmeetup.com because that's exactly what we're doing here, okay? The only organization that gathers entrepreneurs every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurship, okay? Every single day, Monday through Friday, we gather, we're growing, we're learning. We got a book club. Have you ever seen hundreds of entrepreneurs reading the same book? Every single chapter, every single day, we're growing together, okay? You need the environment to grow in. Themorningmeetup.com, $1. I'm gonna give you all of this for $1. If you wanna stay, great. It's $79 a month after that. If not, no obligation. You can leave whenever you want. All right? themorningmeetup.com. I'll see you in the morning. All right, welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, where we find dope people that did really, really dope stuff. And today it's no different. I was in a mastermind with this gentleman in Miami, Neil's Mastermind. And everybody was like, I think it was at dinner or something like that. And before I got my food, you just started talking. I'm like, yo, there's no more seats over there, Josh. You're sitting over there and I'm sitting over there with you. And you really outlined the game, man. So Mr. Josh Chris, what's going on, brother?
Man, it's a pleasure to be here. I know we've been trying to get this lined up for a while, so I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Excited to share some game with the people, man.
Yeah, please, man. So we know you are the king of Amazon fulfillment. And I guess you kind of, let's just start with like who you are, the things you've accomplished. I know I don't want to feel like you're bragging on yourself, but just to lay a foundation of what you've accomplished in a really short period of time.
Yeah, absolutely. So over the last several years, I went from literally just got out of jail, no diploma, no high school diploma, no credit, no money, nothing, to building, an 8-figure business with Amazon would change my life. Like at the AMZ formula, we say you're one product away because the business changed my life, right? So long story short, I got out of jail. I met my wife through a mutual friend. I would go visit her when I was looking for jobs. I couldn't even get a real job, so I was going to temp agencies trying to find work. And I would go visit her, and she worked for an entrepreneur that sold bath and body products. So that became my first mentor. I didn't know about entrepreneurship, didn't know about any of that. And this is the key about relationships and about opportunities. They're all around us. You just have to identify them. So I was hungry. I'm like, they're telling me $7 an hour. I'm hand sorting through trash. I see this older gentleman taking sales calls and making stuff himself and selling it. And I was intrigued. So I got the game from him, and he was doing all the sales calls and was telling people like, the future's going to be Amazon. The future's going to be Amazon. And I asked him like, why is nobody doing it? And they said, because they're afraid to do something new. And he told me something that stuck with me forever. He said, if you want to get results that you've never gotten, you have to do things that you've never done. So I'm like, listen, I have no money. You front me some product that you can't sell or some extra stuff. I'll figure it out. Long story short, through trial and error, just time, studying, testing, we did $1 million in 1 year with that product.
The first year?
First year.
What was the product?
So it was bath bombs. It was a bath and body product. And the funny thing is, he had a bunch of it laying around because he couldn't sell it. His main product was soaps, lotions, and scrubs. And the product he couldn't really sell was bath bombs. So he's like, I got a bunch of this laying around. I just took what he had laying around, right? One man's trash is another man's treasure. I took what he had laying around, figured out how to repurpose it, repackage it, sell it on Amazon.
What was his main means of selling now? Like when you met him,
right?
Just a website or?
So he was a manufacturer and a distributor himself. So he sold business to business. So what I did is I went and took that product business to consumer, right? So it was a whole nother distribution channel, it was a whole nother angle. And he knew it. He just was stuck in his own ways. He did SEO. What he had was working. Since then, I took that brand, I scaled it to over $11.2 million in 3 years, mastered my craft, my formula, which I call the AMZ formula.
All right, so I gotta ask you, and I don't know if there's a personal. When people go to jail, are you supposed to ask them what they went to jail for?
Yeah.
Is that okay or is that rude?
Yeah,
all right, so do you mind?
Yeah, no, it's all good. I like being transparent. You know, it's funny. I used to not talk about it, but now I feel like somebody may be in my position
100%.
and like I could just talking to that person, I'll tell them like your current situation is not your final destination. And it's like I used to look at this stuff like the trials and tribulations and adversity that we had is a disadvantage or like weights, like chains holding me back. And so many of us feel like that. But what it is a superpower. Because if I didn't come from where I came from and I didn't have the smarts from the environment that I came from, I feel like I wouldn't be as successful as I am today. Mm-hmm. So I got a CCW, which is carrying a concealed weapon, and I got a drug charge. So I was a felon at 18, had no high school diploma. You know, high school teacher said I wouldn't amount to nothing. Like family members was telling my mom, you're going to dead or in jail. I was just around the wrong crowd. Like you're the sum of the 5 closest people closest to you. So if you're hanging around people that's not doing much, chances are you can see your future, right? So it's all about opportunity. Like I was in the same environment where like I was messing up and I was around the wrong people, same environment, same neighborhood, but I found one person had one opportunity and it changed my life. So you just got to be looking for it. Like so many times we're complaining, we're pointing our fingers at our parents or our neighborhoods or our ethnicity or whatever it may be. But when you point a finger at somebody, there's 3 pointing right back at you. So instead of blaming my mom for not being financially literate, not teaching me about this and that, and blaming the community and not having a dad and everything, we all have stuff that we blame. I started to look for opportunities. Listen, complaining ain't going to get me nowhere. Yeah. But if I start being observant around who can help me, who's doing better, who can I learn from, you'd be surprised what you see that's right around you.
Wow. So your girl with your wife at this point, she was working for the guy and you say, hey, man, I need an opportunity, right? Yep. Was that the approach or was it just let me ask you a few questions or let me take you to lunch? What was your approach?
I was hungry. I was literally just going to see my wife and just spend time, at the time, girlfriend, just hang out with her. She was around the corner from Spartan Staffing Company, which is where I was going. They would try to like get you a job doing stuff that people don't want to do.
You were looking for a job.
Yeah, I couldn't even get a real job. So I had to go to a staffing company and they give you the jobs that nobody else wanted. So my job that I had for minimum wage was hand sorting through trash. I was a trash sorter through Spartan Staffing Company, and I worked for a company called Finitech. Crazy story, like, and this could go deep, but just crazy story.
Let's go.
That company, Finitech, right? I was going to meet my wife, and I was talking to her boss, which was my mentor who taught me all this. He had a small location right around the corner from the staffing agency. I blew up that first year. We did $1 million, became his largest customer, took his company, blew his company up, built a 7-figure business approaching 8 figures. We expanded. And guess what? There was a company that went out of business and they had 50,000 square foot. At the time, he had 16,000 square foot, needed additional docks because we were shipping 40, 50 pallets to Amazon a week. And the location that we got, it was about 4 or 5 miles away, was Finitech. They went out of business. So I remember I worked 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. And I remember November, it was like 15th, about a month before Christmas, month before my birthday, asking for $1 raise. Made $7.25 an hour. And after the probationary period, you can make more money. I asked for $1 raise. And I remember vividly, my boss's name was Bill. He was about 6'3". I had to look up to him. I remember being like, my knees being weak and just, I was role playing it. It was $1,200 a year, $1 raise per hour. It would have changed everything for me. I'm mathematically doing the math on it. And he said, Josh, you're a hard worker. You show up early, you stay late, you do what most won't. But unfortunately, you don't have a skill set that I can put you somewhere else to validate the extra $1. It was $1,200. That was the day I told myself I'll never allow somebody to put a ceiling on what I'm worth. So you got to know your worth. You got to know what do you want out there. And one of the biggest mistakes I made was dreaming too small. I would have settled for $1. But if Bill would have said, okay, I might have still been there. Wow. It was that rejection and him putting a lid on me and saying no that said, you know what? I'm better than that $7.25 an hour. And that's what I quit the job, had no money coming in. I was volunteering at Salvation Army for food. I was ringing the bell in the snow in front of Walmart for gifts for my kids. Me and my wife slept on an air mattress. We had a shower curtain up in the living room because our oldest son had the 1 bedroom. I mean, I had nothing. and I went all in. And that's why it's like, you got to go all in or you got to go all out. So many people want to have their hand on the exit strategy. Like, let me try this and see if it works. Like they want to look at entrepreneurship or any business as let me just try it. There's no just trying life. You got to do it. So in business, like, it has to happen or it has to happen. Like, a true failure is not starting or giving up. And that's something that was instilled in me. I didn't have an option, right? So if you just know that the only way you can fail anything that you're doing is by A, not starting, or B, giving up, and you start to look at that, you'll go a lot further, a lot faster.
You know what I think is interesting? Because you're at a point where you don't have a job, you don't have money, but instead of asking your girlfriend at the time's boss for a job, you're asking for the game.
Yeah.
You're asking for an opportunity.
Yep.
You didn't even think.
And
like,
it wasn't even direct, like, hey, like, let me get something and make some money, or how can we make some money? I was just there asking them questions. Why do you do this? How do you do this? How do you hire people? Like, just asking them questions. And I was there taking notes, and he noticed that. That's another thing. Like, sometimes if you're looking for a mentor, or you're looking for someone to help you, or you're looking for an opportunity, like, if you're looking for it, it don't make itself presentable. He's just a normal guy. If I would have just came in there and been flirting with my wife, my girlfriend at the time, and just messing around on the phone, this opportunity may have never presented itself. But I was intrigued. I see what he was doing, and I paid attention, and then he fed into me, right? He literally planted that seed into me. And everything he told me, like, this is another key. And I see myself now doing it with people that ask me for advice. Like, when people ask you questions, they ask you for advice because they want to be where you are, or you know something that they don't. When you see them execute immediately, it's like, okay, let me feed them some more. Let me feed them some more. So I was hungry. He would tell me something. I would run with it, run with it, run with it. He kept telling me more and more. And that's why I grew so fast and blew up. Because every time I was asking for, questions or asking for help, he always told me. So first you got to learn, you remove that L, you get to earn. Like, so I'm big on knowledge. I still invest.
You first got to learn, remove the L.
Yeah, first you got to learn, then you remove the L and you get to earn. Like, one of my biggest investments I make each and every year is on my personal development, me and my wife's. Like, the minute you stop learning is the minute you stop earning.
All right. Whew. Okay. We're gonna get to the bar because I want to know how you built this Amazon, especially in 1 year. And what year was this that you made your first million?
Oh man, this is like 2010, 2011.
Oh, so you've been on so you know the game. Oh, I'm about to get I'm gonna get 10 years of information out of you.
Yeah, I've been doing this.
I know you teach your students, but I'm gonna try to extract all of that out of you. Okay, so what is an opportunity like that over with? Like, it seems like there's certain waves of opportunity, right? To be in Amazon. Not everybody has an Amazon store. Not everybody has an Amazon store, but you see more people that are more aware of it. Is the opportunity over?
So that's the most frequently asked question: is the well dry? Is the gold mine? Is selling on Amazon dead? Selling on Amazon is just another form of supply and demand, which was BC, before Christ. Like, you would go and you would trade for things, right? Like, it's been around forever. It's not going anywhere. And now we've become accustomed to the 2-day delivery. We've been accustomed to shopping online and doing all this stuff. So it's not going anywhere. It's the largest e-commerce platform in the world. More than half of the globe shops on Amazon. 2/3 of Americans have Prime memberships. It's not going anywhere. And this is what
2/3 of Americans have Prime memberships.
And I want you to think about this number. There's over 200 million products on Amazon, and more are being added every single day. There's only 2 million sellers globally. Think about that. So that's 1%. 1% in reference to the amount of products. Like, it's inevitable for you to find a product. You just have to do the research, need to know what you're looking for, and go from there.
Okay. So what do you teach your students?
So I teach
to have their own store, or to have their own product, or what?
So what I teach, there's a few different strategies with Amazon. You have arbitrage, wholesale, and private label. Arbitrage is going to a store, buying something below MSRP, reselling it for MSRP, keeping the difference. Wholesale is going to someone like Heinz Ketchup, getting a distributorship deal, which is below MSRP, selling it for MSRP in bulk. And then there's private label, what I do, which is my personal opinion, the best. And we basically do what Beats by Dre, what Apple, all these large companies do. We find products that have high demand, low competition. This mic, this cover, this stand, this cord, this chair, the lights, the stands, everything and anything in this room you can buy on Amazon. So the thing is, there's a lot of large brands, but there's also a lot of average people like me and you who have brands that are selling them. And that's what we do. Like, if you think about it, like majority of the listeners right now, I can tell you mathematically, statistically, half of the listeners have gotten something in the last week from Amazon. So if you look at the stuff that you're ordering, look at the name brands, it's not the Toshibas and the Apples and the Beats by Dre. It's random stuff that you never heard of that you can't get in Walmart. Those are private label companies, and that's what I do.
So I can find the manufacturer to make this mic, and I can get the same stuff inside and then have the social proof microphones.
Absolutely.
And teach people how to build their own podcast using the social proof microphone.
Absolutely. 100%. Yep. You can go find Apple's supplier, Apple's manufacturer. Certain specific large brands will have proprietary goals with and proprietary things in motion with manufacturers. But if you find the manufacturer, they can make something similar. They can make adjustments. You can have the same quality, different name. You can actually improve it. Because here's the thing. Large companies, like so many people are like, I would never be able to compete with X company. They're huge. Well, if you go look at their listings on Amazon, they're not optimized. They don't have people specifically focusing on Amazon because they're so big. They're not improving and testing and doing product development because you've been buying the same thing for the last decade. Why are they going to put a bunch of time, effort, and energy into changing it? That's where the small people come in. We bottom feed. We go see the pros and the cons. What are the 1-star reviews? That's the easiest way to improve a product. You look at the 5-star reviews, you look at the 1-star reviews of all the other products and the large name brands. Keep what's working, the 5-star reviews. Look at the 1-star reviews and you'll start to see commonalities. Size difference, weight, durability, strength, whatever it may be. You take that right to the manufacturer and say, hey, listen, this is the commonality. I want to improve on this. What do you think? You don't got to be smart. You don't even got to have the idea. You tell them what you want. They have a team that does that. Now that's how the product development phase starts. Now when you launch a product, you're new and improved and better than the big name.
So let's just get this out of the way. If I'm gonna be a part of your course, how much is it?
So if you go to the AMZformula.com, it's $997.
Okay, all right. So I just want to get that out the way, just so there's no anxiety, which is a steal. But for one, you're gonna. What is it? He said, first off, he said something, because y'all know every episode he's watching and paying attention. He's like, yo, I know you're going to ask me for a discount for your audience. So he said, what was it? Social Proof FBA?
Yep. Social Proof FBA.
Okay. .com. Okay. And, we'll be able to find out how to do this stuff. Okay, cool. I just want to get that out the way for the people that's like, yo.
But it's cheaper. Don't buy it from me. Y'all going to save some money. If you go to socialproofFBA.com, you guys are going to save $100.
Why would you, if your website is $997, why would you make another web? I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
But I'm always learning from you. Why would you make it cheaper? I don't understand. So, and why would you tell them it's cheaper? I don't understand.
So for a few different reasons, I want to give back. I respect what you're doing for the community, for the culture. I watch all the episodes. I learn from the episodes. So I want to give back to your audience, right? This program sells hundreds of units a month, right? At the $997. And at that, it's a steal, right? Because we have tons of students like Joseph O'Connell making $600,000, buying his first real estate property, retiring his wife, quitting his job. But I want to do something special for you and for the community. I'm always about giving back, giving away, and trying to help any way I can. So for those like that $100 you save, that can go towards product. That can go towards, software to find your product. That can go towards shipping. It can help.
Wow. Okay. First off, all right. I want to know what you teach in there so that I can get started, right? So, okay, I get the course. What am I going to find? Is this something that a new entrepreneur can do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of be in the game a little bit. I'm good at entrepreneurship, I think.
Yeah.
I can build a brand.
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
think it'd be good for me.
Yeah, so the beautiful thing about this business, Dave, is you don't have to be an experienced entrepreneur. You don't have to have 40 hours a week to devote to this. The reason why this business is so beautiful is because you can run it at your leisure. You can run it anytime. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, anytime, few hours a week. There's no pros and cons to when or where or how you work on the business. Next, you're not building websites. You're not building funnels. You're not doing email automations. You're not putting Facebook pixels and running ads and all this other stuff that you need to do with traditional e-commerce.
Thank you, Josh.
You're not doing none of that.
I always think, and now in a business now, that's what you have to do to be successful. And
right.
Quite honestly, that stuff gives me anxiety.
Right, absolutely. Hey, I'm with you. I'm not tech savvy at all.
Oh my God.
At all.
Okay, so why don't I need all that stuff?
because Amazon has everything. So this is why Amazon's so great. I mean, literally, if you look at Amazon, it's pages. Like if you're to go build a brand and put it on Shopify, you have to have the store, you have to have the domain, you have to have all this stuff in place, Facebook, all this other stuff in play. With Amazon, it's just pages. So you have a picture, you have a title, you have a price, you have the bullet points, and then you have a description. That's it. You can literally create a listing for a new product in under 20 minutes, have it done, have it live. And here's the great part. People go to Amazon when they're ready to buy. You don't go to Amazon to kill time. You go to Google, you're asking like crazy questions, whatever pops in your mind, you're trying to find crazy
or
stuff
YouTube,
out.
You're just
wasting time. You go to Amazon when it's time to buy, right? So they already have the traffic. So you don't have to go run Facebook ads and learn Google ads and all this other stuff. The traffic's already there.
Okay. So let's talk to some people who have an Amazon store. Okay, they've been in business for a while, but it's not working out.
Okay.
Do you know why it's not working out even without knowing who they are? What's going on, family? Listen, I know you're enjoying the episode, but check this out. Have you ever been in the car, turn on some music, but your kids are in the car and you got to turn it off because you don't want your kids learning lyrics about trapping and smoking and drinking and twerking. You don't want your kids to learn those lyrics, right? But there's a company called Gifted and Lit that is changing all of that, okay? Giftedandlit.com. It's a company that uses hip hop and cartoons to teach kids math, science, language. Listen, they love the music. They love the beats, you feel me? But we need to give them a more positive message, okay? So go to giftedandlit.com. They got downloads, they got bundles for you to enjoy. Just go to giftedandlit.com. Tell them David Shan sent you. All right? Giftedandlit.com. Back to the episode.
So there's variables, right? So I'll just rapid fire through some variables. So if you have a product on Amazon, it's not selling well, there's tons of different variables, right? Just like if you're trying to lose weight and you're not losing weight, right? So number one, it could be the product is bad, right? Now, what is a bad product? A product could be too saturated or the competition could be too high for you, right? Number two, it could be a bad product because it's a product that is not selling every single day. Like one of the main things that we look for is a product that's going to sell 24/7, 365, not a product that is seasonal. So we use a free resource called Google Trends.
Give me an example of both of those. One is seasonal and one is selling all day.
So this cover for the mic, right? This microphone cover is going to sell 24/7, 365, irregardless of male, female, Florida, Texas, Alaska, right? Now, an inflatable pool toy, that may sell Florida, Texas, California, or the other 52 states during, April, right?
Or peak a holiday-driven
item. Christmas lights, pumpkin carving kits, stuff like that. So we're looking for products that are going to sell 24/7, 365. Use Google Trends. It's a free tool to see, and it'll show you when those products are selling. Another thing, it could be your listings not optimized.
Hold on. Go back. Google listing.
Google Trends.
Google Trends. What is that?
Free resource. So if you go to Google Trends and you type in Christmas lights, what it's going to do is it's going to show you a historical chart from when it first showed up on Google. Now, the reason why we're using Google, you're like, well, that's not Amazon. Google's the largest search engine. Amazon is the largest e-commerce search engine. So Google has the most relevant and oldest data. So we go on there, we type in pumpkin carving kit or Christmas lights, whatever our product is, we can see, is it horizontal? So is it selling January to December sustainably? Because that's what we want. Or is it November, December spiking up because it's a seasonal product and then flatlining, right? So we want nice, sustainable, cordial growth, right? People are going to buy this every day, 24/7, 365. That's what we want, something that's sustainable. Like another thing is you can go to Google Patents. Another reason why you might not be selling is Google Patents. Just go to Google and type in Google Patents. You can do a patent search without paying a lawyer to see if the product is patented. A lot of people have a product and they see it's a good product to sell on Amazon because there's not many sellers. There's not many sellers because somebody owns intellectual property and you can't sell it. So these are mistakes that I made, like I didn't know, and I'm launching stuff, getting cease and desist. I'm launching through trial and error. So like seasonality is big. Making sure it's not patented is big. Making sure your listing's optimized. When you go to Amazon.com and you type in a product, you're going to see a few things: an image, a title, a review count, and a price. Those are the four things you want to optimize. Number one, you want to make sure your photo is the best, high quality.
Optimize, what do you mean exactly?
Just make it best as possible.
Gotcha, okay.
So you want your image to be optimized, right?
Joe didn't know what optimize meant, so I was trying to clear it up for my man.
Yeah, you want to just make it, if it's blurry.
You just make it better. Okay, cool, guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it simple. Like just make it better. If it's blurry, fix it. If it's out of focus, fix it. Next is the title. So many people just stuff keywords like microphone, good for podcasts, recording, small, condenser. That doesn't sound like you just stuffing keywords in there because people want to rank, right? So what you want to do is you want to make it legible, like you want to make it sound like a sentence. You want to make it seem attractable, and you also want to have the keywords in there. Next, in reference to reviews and pricing, so many people want to start selling the product and they wonder why it doesn't take off. They don't have any reviews. So reviews is what? Social proof, right? Nobody wants to be first. No one wants to be last. How many times have you been in a new area and you look at restaurants to eat because you don't know the area and you see bad reviews or no reviews? It could be slapping, but you don't go there based off of the reviews only. You don't even look at the menu. So you want to make sure you have at least 5 reviews, all 5 stars. And then last but not least is the price. One of the biggest things right off the bat people mess up is ending in 99. Don't ask me why. I didn't invent it. I don't know the psychology behind it, but you never want to end your price point at 99. Do 97, 47, 40, 48, 92, anything other than 99, right? So that's a price hack right there. Also compare your prices to competitors. You don't want to be the highest. You don't want to be the lowest. I like to be somewhere in the middle. So that's a few different areas without actually looking at the listing, looking at the product as to why it's not selling.
Yeah, there's a couple things you check. Okay. All right. So, seizing this opportunity in Amazon, which it seems like Amazon's only getting bigger and stronger, so the opportunity is going to be there. What would be one of the first steps is it finding the product?
That's everything. The most important part of the entire business is the product. Everything else is simple, easy, all downhill from there.
Should you find a bunch of products? Like, so you have a store with a bunch of products, or are you going to just get one product and trying to sell that?
So there's 2 different models. There is the generic model, and then there's the branded model. So a generic model would be like a Sam's Club approach that has a bunch of different products, a bunch of different private label products, not really semantically relevant. The branded approach would be like Apple. You start with one product, which is, the computer. Then you bring out the phone. Then you bring out the earbuds, and you bring out the tablet. So what I personally do, and both of them work, there's no rhyme or reason, right or wrong. What I personally do is the brand, because I found that the equity in selling it, what you can sell the business for is going to be a little bit higher with the brand. It's easier to also grow because you're not just looking out for different products. Once you get the one product, the one brand, the one niche, that supplier has a catalog. You tell them what you're looking for. They send you the products in the catalog. You test them. Now you can go horizontal. So the first product is always like, getting over that milestone. Once you get the first product and you go that approach, the hard work's done, right? So you use those to find the products, launch the product, go from there, contact the supplier, say, hey, let me see your catalog, start going through the products, doing your due diligence, see which one works, build out horizontally. But with one product, like simple math, because some people are like, well, how much can you make off a product? How does that work? This is basic, generic, like low end, very reasonable. One product selling 10 units a day at $10 profit, right, is $100.
Selling 10 units a day at $10 profit, yep.
That's $100 per day. That's $2,800 to $3,000 a month. You're making $28,000 to $30,000 a year off of one product. For a lot of people, that would cover their mortgage and their car note. Sure. That cover their mortgage. Like that would allow them to quit their job. 2 products, you doubled your income. 3, you tripled. 4, you quadrupled, right? And that's what we do. We just launched that one product. That's why we say you're one product away.
I love it. And one more on that is, how do you find the right, because I've been in searches where I'm saying, okay, I want to do my own custom microphone, right? Or I want to do, camera covers. Like I always interested in like green or yellow camera covers, little silicone things. It's such a headache trying to find them. Do you have like some secret sauce?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because I've been told Brandon this and he's been sleeping. I actually have a phone notification that comes on. It literally says, remind Brandon to do this because he never wants to do it. So funny. I'm going to show you, and it's just been going off for 6 months. So this is where you go to find, there's tons of places you can find suppliers, starting with Google, but like the mecca of where all the suppliers are, and you can search geographically. So China's the biggest, but you have Pakistan for textiles, you have India, you have different countries. China's always going to be the biggest. And before you guys say like the quality sucks, that's absolutely false. Like all the big high quality products like Apple that are crushing it because of quality are made in China, right? Right. So we'll squash that right out the way. But you want to go to Alibaba.com. Alibaba.com, you're going to go in there and you're going to type in the name of the product. Boom, it's going to show you a directory of all of the suppliers. Now, this is what you want to do.
Yes, because I've been on there. And
this is what you want to do.
That's the problem. There's all of them.
Oh my God, there's 2,000 of them. What do I do? Who's the best? How do I do? So I'm going to break that down. A few things you want to look for. Number one, you want to look for a manufacturer, not a trading company. It'll say trading code next to their name.
I didn't know what that meant till right now.
So trading company is the middleman. You hit me up, you say you want this product, I say, I got you. I go call the manufacturer, I put some tax on it and sell it to you. That's what a trading company is.
I had no idea, because I always saw that.
Trading code.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, trading companies aren't always bad. On smaller orders, you may have to go, but manufacturer is preferred. Next, you want to make sure you're doing your due diligence. Check the reviews on Alibaba. Check how long they've been in business, their employees. Make sure they got a real facility. All this is publicly accessible underneath their actual listing. Number three, this is big, communication. There's a time barrier. There's a language barrier. So when you're communicating with them, you want to see like who's getting back to you fast, who's following simple instructions. That's huge. And the biggest tip I can give you, everybody wants to negotiate. Everybody wants a deal. And it makes sense that if I negotiate a lower price and I sell at a higher price, I'll make more money. That's a mistake that I made as a beginner because amateurs monetize the front end, experts monetize the back end. I was beating my supplier up thinking the cheaper I got it, the more I would make. But what's happening? You get what you pay for. Yeah. So one day my supplier broke it down and they're like, listen, I want to help you get this price, but understand that the price difference in the negotiations is not coming from our profit. So when she said that, like I had an epiphany.
What do you mean?
The price difference that I'm negotiating is not coming from her profit, not coming from the company's margin. So if it's not coming from the company's margin, because they literally operate on pennies. That's why they make money on volume. They don't make a lot of money. So where's it coming from? It's coming from my product.
The quality.
At the time, one of my first products was a dual port USB car charger. It had the 5.1, 2.4. Remember that? And I was getting slaughtered with reviews. They weren't working. They were catching on fire. They were everything because I was beating them to death on the pricing and they were putting bull crap in my product. So now I tell people it's a very simple acronym. It's WWAD. I'm an Apple fan. I own Apple stock. I own Apple products. I believe in Apple. WWAD stands for what would Apple do? Very simple. Why do people love it? Hey, success leaves clues. They're a billion-dollar company, a trillion-dollar company. Excuse me. I don't want to do them like that. Why are they so great? Their customer service is impeccable, right? The product packaging is simple and amazing, high quality. The products are high quality. Everything about them is good. So you think that they're like, if you look at an Android and you look at an iPhone, it's a 4 or 5x price difference. You go get an Android for $200. This phone's $1,500. That's 7x price difference. Am I trying to negotiate with them? No, I'm paying it. Every year they come out with the same thing. I'm paying it. Why? Because of the quality. So I'd rather spend more on the product and have better quality than the competition and sell it for more, the Apple approach, than to beat the supplier up and put mediocre product that's obsolete and bullcrap, just like what everybody else is doing. So I throw it like new and improved, the best, only with. Like these are all words and descriptive language that I'm utilizing to crush my competition. And I could tell them like, experience the difference. That's one of my like lines that I use in my description. Like experience the difference, the one and only new and improved blank. And they're like, oh, hang on, hold on. I haven't heard that technology. I haven't heard that product. I haven't heard of that system. And they start doing the research because people do research when they're making a purchase, especially if it's over $47. So that's the way that we crush it. I make more money on the back end and the customer retention's longer because of the quality. So that's huge. Like in retail and in Amazon, it's all about customer attrition and LTV, which is lifetime customer value. Like so many people play the one night stand game and that's why their business doesn't grow sustainably. I want to marry my customers. So how do I get them to come back every single month? How do I get them to continue purchasing my product? How do I get them to go to the mountaintops and yell, my product is amazing? We all use Apple and we're like, man, this Apple's phone, this is fire, this is fire. We're using it. We're selling it for them for free. Why? Because they put all the time, energy, and effort into making this the best product. So that's what I do. And I may lose more on the front end, but I make more on the back end. And that's what separates the amateurs and the experts.
Dang, my man said, yo, when you negotiate, he's like, yo, straight up, this price difference is not coming out of my profit.
It's big. It's big. People drop the ball on that all the time, especially on electronics. I'm asking them if I don't believe in electronics for beginners because there's a lot of variables that cost more. But I have a friend that owns Anchor. They do $150 million a year. And what he says is like...
Your friend owns Anchor?
Yeah, Anchor. You probably have
it. Podcast?
No, Anker. It's electronic. They have chargers, cables, all types of stuff.
Gotcha.
They're one of the largest, like... Wow.
Oh, you have one. Oh, that's it right there. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, Anchor. So my friend owns that. And what he was saying is he actually flies out to China and he asked the people that are working on the product, like, what can we do to make this better? What's the newest technology out there? How can it charge faster? How can it last longer? How can it be more durable? Which is the Apple play. Because that's what Apple's doing. Apple can charge more than all these other companies because the development, all the time, the resources, you can see a noticeable difference. So that's what I'm constantly doing is like, how can we make it better? I'm asking them, what is everybody that's ordering these products that are selling on Amazon doing that we could do better and I could pay you more so we can sell more and we can both make more?
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
And that's my big play and it crushes because everybody's focused on the, well, can I get it 20 cents cheaper, 30 cents cheaper? I want to pay them more, make it better so I can make more on the back end because now they're going to keep buying it. They're going to tell everybody else and it's going to grow.
That's definitely a difference in philosophy. Like, and the reason it's hitting me so hard because I'm the negotiator. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to negotiate, try to get a lower price, and not realizing, a lower price doesn't always mean you're going to make more money.
You can still negotiate, but I mean, so many people when they're ordering large volume, and I did this, like it was like a game to me. Like, yeah, I beat him. I beat him. I got him down. They said that was the lowest. I got him more. I got him to go lower. I'm like, yes.
And they might be on the other end, like, yes, they took the trash.
Yeah.
The profits might be more.
They took the stuff that the big guy said he didn't want it or it didn't pass quality control, and they pushed it off to you.
Dang. Bars. Okay. All right. Oh, and this is my last question about that. And Joe, if you could just make sure like all the joints is, I got to make sure this is right. Okay. So let's say I'm getting my own custom whiteboard, right? I'm going to sell like the custom whiteboards. If I order 100 of them, 200, 1,000 or whatever, where do I keep this stuff? Am I supposed to use that at the crib?
I passed over that. So FBA, Amazon FBA will take it a step forward to go take it a step back to go a step forward. FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. On top of being able to operate this business generate this business, run this business, operate this business during your spare time, at your leisure, anywhere in the world, you're not holding on to physical inventory. You don't have employees. You don't have packaging supplies. You don't have printers. You literally, all you need is a computer to run this business. So the way it works, this is the way the whole business works. You find that product, right? Let's just say this mic thing is the product. We find the product. We find the supplier on Alibaba, right? We do the product development, which is simple. What can we do to improve? How can we make it better? What are we going to do? So on and so forth. Then we send it to Amazon. Now, the supplier, Amazon's going to give you a shipping address to a logistics center. It's called a fulfillment center. Now, the supplier is going to send it directly to Amazon. You're not touching anything. All you're doing is sending an email, right? Once Amazon receives it in their fulfillment center, they're going to disperse it to other fulfillment centers across the United States or globally if you're selling internationally. And that's how anywhere in the world they can get their product in 2 days. Now, what's cool is they're going to store your product for you. They are going to pick, pack, ship, and handle customer returns for you for a small fee. So after you source the product, you pay for shipping, you pay for the fulfillment fee or the FBA fee, you're still making 30 to 50%. 30% is the bare minimum I will make on a product. So if I sell it for 20, we want 6. So if you can get 33%, which is on the low side, every 3 products you sell, you double your money. And this is 24/7, 365.
Wow. Give me an example of a product you just missed on. Like you thought it was going to be,
God,
you thought it was going to be the greatest thing.
This is painful. So one that I missed on or one that I launched that sucked?
Give me both.
Oh man, this is painful. So a product that's doing $1 million a month that like, it pains me because I have them around my house and I love the product. And I fell victim to analysis paralysis, right? Like I have this saying that I live by. It's my screensaver. It's success, love, speed. Like people fall victim to analysis paralysis and they miss out on opportunities, right? You got to understand, like when you know, you have to take action on an opportunity of a lifetime during the lifetime of an opportunity because they have lifespans, right? And I'm always about now. Now is an acronym that stands for no opportunities wasted. So now like I'm training my subconscious like now, fast, speed. So anyway, it's an essential oil diffuser. It's the little thing that shoots the mist out.
Yes.
And it's like a humidifier / makes your house smell good or your spot smell good. So I launched that product. It was an electronic product that was kind of against what I did because I had bad experience with them. They take longer to make, more product development, cost more to source. And it was a higher price point.
And you wrapped your brand around it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So it was a higher price point. I like to be at $15 to $20. That's my price point. These were like $29 to $49. And like our personal research, the sweet spot is 15 to 25. Anything close to 50, people want to like think about it. They want to price check and so on and so forth. So I didn't do it. I fell victim to analysis paralysis. Oh, I don't know. Oh, it's electronic. Because you know what happens is when you know you want to do something, but you're unsure of it, like your mind starts to stack. You'll always stack negatives before positives, right? So long story short, I didn't launch it. That product's doing like $1 million a month. Some of the top competitors are doing $1 million a month with that one product. So probably about
so you never launched
300,000 profit. No, because it took off so fast. Because the way it works with Amazon is if you want to get into Walmart, so many people like have an idea, they create something or they make something, and then they want to get into all these other retail locations. The easiest way to get into Walmart, get into Target, get into any retail location in the world is to get it on Amazon, prove the concept, and then take your P&L and show everybody else, because what is their number one direct competitor? Amazon. If it does well on Amazon, you get to skip flying and talking to the execs at Walmart and pitching them and doing a small test run. Here's the P&L. Here's the sheet that I've done on Amazon. I sell X amount of units. This is what you can expect to do. So what happened is when that product took off, then it's in every store in America, and then there's thousands of people flooding in, right? So I always say first to market, first to dollar, right? So many people are like, well, this product's saturated, this product's bad. Any and every product can be ranked and can be profitable on Amazon. It's which one is within your risk tolerance and what is your budget? Like how much do you have to put into the product, making the product? Because this product is selling 30, 40,000 units a month. You know, if they cost $8 a source, the average person doesn't have 6 figures to source, right? But you can get a plastic drawer divider for $3, buy 100 units for $300, right? Pay $500 shipping, that's $800. Go and sell these things for $19.99, give Amazon 20% and make the difference, right? That's something somebody can do and get started with under 2,000. So there's different levels. Like there's no way that you can launch a bad product if you know what to look for. Is it patented? Like, of course you can't sell something patented. Do you have the licensing? Don't go sell something SpongeBob. You don't have the licensing agreement. Is it going to sell 24/7, 365, or is it seasonal? If it's seasonal, it's only going to sell during the season, right? Then how many units is it going to sell, right? Once you identify how many units it's going to sell, now you can see, well, I don't have that money or I have that money. So as long as you have all these variables, there's really no way to lose, right? Because even if you launch a product and it doesn't sell what you anticipated on it selling, or it's a loser, you're making 30% profit.
Hold on. So are you saying you've never lost money on a product?
No, I lost money, a buttload of money. But I'm saying if you follow what I'm teaching you, you won't. It's like impossible.
Before you learn the game.
Yeah, I didn't have a me. If I had a me, I might not be here right now, right? Like I'll be in the Virgin Islands somewhere if I had a me and saved last 10 years. But no, my first 3 products failed. I was living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Remember, $725
on your lawn. Oh, just in the year, but that wasn't the first product.
Yeah, this was
the bath bomb joint.
He was telling me Amazon. And I was testing these little products. I was taking all my money. I was trying these different products. They were failing. I'm like, listen, man, I don't have any more money. You're making this crap. Like, do you have some stuff I could test with?
Oh, so you took the L. Then my man said, okay. And
because he seen I kept trying, I kept failing. And he's like, listen, I got this stuff. If you failed, keep trying. Because he knew I was determined. Because at that time, like, literally, I remember my youngest son, Jeremiah, was born, and we got $300 for like the, congratulations type situation. I took that money, put it in the product, lost it. Like me and my wife were arguing. I had relatives calling me crazy, calling me lazy, telling me you're not a real man. Stop trying to get rich quick. Go get your CDL, go get your license, get your GED, do this, do that, do that. See, you can't share large dreams with small-minded people, right? Because they'll influence you in their perspective, and you're not thinking in their perspective to begin with.
They'll influence you in their perspective.
Exactly. So I'm doing this, and I'm telling them, listen, this is going to work. I'm going to do this. They're like, you're lazy. Like, you're a high school dropout. You're a felon. Be a real man. Go get your CDL. Like, you just caught a charge. You're doing this. Like, stop trying to get rich. Like, give it up. Hang it up. And, my wife believed in me, and I kept trying. Like, we had tension. So I'm taking everything, like I'm taking the food money, putting it into my business, and then having to go volunteer for food because we have nothing. but you gotta go all in. Like I knew like, hey, the worst thing that was gonna happen is I'll go right back and start. But if I give up, I'm going to be stuck here. So I'd rather just keep failing and failing and failing and know that I'm trying everything within my power to do better than to sit here and just, you know what, $7.25, maybe I'll be a janitor one day for $10, you know, and accept what everybody told me. So, and it's stuck. And that's why I tell you, like the biggest bar that I can give anybody listening, and this I'm telling you will exponentially increase the success that you have in anything, is understand whenever you want to do something new, whenever you want to start a new business and you get that anxiety, you get that stress, you get that pain in your chest, a brain starts moving and running, understand that you can do anything you put your mind to. We heard that cheesy thing growing up. It's like, yeah, okay, that's cool. That's motivation. You can do anything you put your mind to because of this. The only way that you can fail is not starting or giving up. You want to get in better shape? How can you fail? Don't start working out and eating healthy or give up once you do it. And you can use that variable with anything and everything and it works. It's proven. Yes. Right? I didn't create it. It's just how life works. So when you understand that, now I have this new like sense of like, I'm not scared when I try new things. I'm not. Like there's a bunch of investments I go into and you identify that anxiety because you got to understand how the brain works. Your subconscious mind works and your brain works to your advantage. It wants to keep you safe. It wants to keep you feeling happy. It doesn't want you, like when you're nervous or you have anxiety or you're stressed when you're doing something new, it's because you're doing something new. But remember what my mentor said earlier in the episode, if you want results you've never had, you have to do things that you've never done. And when you're about to do something that you've never done, you're going to have anxiety that you've never had because it's something that you've never done. First time I went ziplining, we were in Jamaica. I was terrified.
Right.
Never done it before. Now it's one of my favorite things. First time I went scuba diving, I had anxiety. I'm like, so a shark's gonna bite my leg off. Now I was just scuba diving with my wife in Neo in Virgin Islands 2 weeks ago. I love doing it. But the first time I did it, something I've never done. So I had that anxiety, I had that fear, I had that stress. That's your brain's job. But once you subconsciously program and rewire your brain, okay, I'm getting this because I've never done it before, but I want the experience. I want the result. Now it's not as hard. You can bypass it. You can push through it.
How can you reprogram it? Because there's somebody listening right now. They're like, okay, I've come to grips with the fact that I am afraid.
Right.
Okay. And I'm trying to push past it, but I can't right now.
Right.
So how would you?
It's so simple. This is exactly how. So say it out loud to yourself and start to identify it. That's the key. Identification. You'll start to like, after you hear this, when you start making decisions, you start wanting to do things, you'll start to notice it. You start getting stressed out. You sweat a little bit. Your mind starts racing. You start to get that feeling in here. Start to think of triggers, right? Like they say the easiest way to remember something is to think of something like a trigger, right? Like a background or a memory. Like some of us, we hear music and it triggers a childhood memory or something, a memory that we have that we're fond of. So implement triggers. What is that for you? Do your palms get sweaty? Do you start to get racy? Does your mind start racing? Like, do you start to like be fidgety? You know, does your chest hurt? What is that anxiety? What is that stress that's associated with you doing something new, right? Or you doing something that you don't know the outcome of? Because if I told you, hey, you're about to do this thing, but I know the result, you wouldn't be scared, right? You wouldn't be scared. Or if you see me do it in front of you, you wouldn't be scared. So the reason why we have that fear and that anxiety is because we don't know the outcome, right? But if you already know the outcome, it's going to work. See, the problem is everybody wants instant gratification. We're bored. We open the phone. We go to Instagram. Boom. We're liking stuff. We're laughing. We're bored. We go to YouTube. Boom. We don't feel like cooking. We pop a pizza in the oven, 15 minutes. Boom. It's done. Instant gratification. Success isn't like that in any business, right? Real estate, trucking, it doesn't matter what, anything that you do, you got to put the work in. That's why only the 1% successful. The 1% has what the 99% does not, because the 1% is willing to do what the 99% will not. And that's fail relentlessly until it works, right? Success isn't hard. You just got to keep trying. Just like a video game. Video games are hard. I love video games. What do? We keep playing until we beat it. We keep playing until we beat it. That's it. No one just gives up on video games. This isn't for me. It's not going to work. I can't do it. It's a scam. No, you just keep playing until you beat it. It's the same thing. You just keep trying.
This game is a scam.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Game's a scam. I can't beat the boss.
Right.
Entrepreneurship's a scam. Amazon's a scam. Trucking's a scam. Real estate's a scam. No, you just want instant gratification. You want results on the first try. No one beats the boss on the first try.
Wow.
Right? So it's the same thing. And that's how simple I put it, and it works, man.
Let me ask you, do you have multiple stores? Or do you have like the main store or you know, and over this, you know, last 10, 11 years, is that the strategy, like having multiple stores, or you just focus on one?
Yeah, so what Amazon pretty much wants you to do is to have one store, right? One account. And under one account, you can have multiple different brands. So that's something that a lot of people don't know.
Also, one Amazon account.
You can have multiple brands. Absolutely.
So you have one store with multiple brands?
Yep. So I have one store. I have multiple accounts, but for beginners, like the best thing to do, is just to start. Well, for exiting plans, but that's the best way to start, is just start, because this is where everybody gets hung up. The name of your Amazon account, the name of your business, the name of your brand are three different things. You can have an Amazon account that's Josh's Amazon account, and then you can have multiple different brands that are different businesses but selling under the same account, right? So the way I have it structured is like an umbrella. I have Crisp Retail, and then under Crisp Retail, I have subsidiaries, which are different brands, and they're under the accounts, right?
And they're their own stores.
Yeah,
different brands.
Yep, okay. Different brands. Yep.
Gotcha.
And that's how you can set it up. And again, you can do the generic, which is just a bunch of random products, or you can do the branded, which is like the Apple or Beats by Dre, Nike, so on and so forth.
And I'm not letting you gloss over that exiting thing. Like you gotta rewind back to that, because you gotta throw it out there for exiting strategy. No, I need to know. What is the
exiting strategy? Man, it's crazy. So one of the biggest mistakes, like if I could go back and give anybody a piece of advice, is start with the end in mind in the beginning, right? So many of us, our main goal when starting a business is to make the first milestone, 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month. When the long-term play or the end is to what? Pass it down for generational wealth purposes, or to sell it to collect more proceeds and invest into something else. So now everything and anything I do, I start with the end in mind, right? So one of the recent plays that we did in one of my companies is it was an education company, the company where we have our consulting, we have our training, we have our programs, we do the done for you Amazon stores. All of that stuff was under an education-based categorization. That operates at 3x EBITDA, earning before interest and taxes, right? By simply changing... Yeah, I don't know. This might be too deep. I'm going left field.
No, there's no too deep. We just got to break it down for Jovan, because he doesn't understand the EBITDA thing, okay? So explain that. Explain that. The 3x EBITDA?
So businesses have classifications based off of what they are. And they all have different multipliers if you're going to go sell it to a venture capitalist or to an investor. So a huge hack, and this is something I just recently did, is understanding these multipliers, these EBITDA multipliers, and seeing which one has the highest multiplier that you can categorize your business under. So mine was education, because it had a personal brand attached to it, and because the way we structured the company. With a few adjustments and tweaks, we went from education to SaaS, which is software and services. I developed the software, AMZ Hunter. We developed services and classified the education under services. We went from a 3x EBITDA valuation, which is earning before interest and taxes, to a 12x EBITDA, which is earnings before interest and taxes.
Just by changing
so we 4x the company's valuation with changing the classification, which is just restructuring the business. So now anything and everything that I do when I start, even with e-commerce, is what brands, like now when I'm thinking about doing product research, which brands are selling for the most, right? And you can literally just Google this, like what type of e-commerce stores and what type of e-commerce brands and niches sell for the most EBITDA. And you can start to find this information. Okay, outdoors is at an 8x, and I'm just making this up. I don't know the numbers right off the top, but outdoors is at 8x. Okay, well, if you're going to start and they're selling these stores for the most amount of valuation, why don't you start researching there? You see what I'm saying? So now I'm starting with the end in mind instead of just a generic, I want to make 3,000 a month. Let me touch my computer. Now I'm playing chess and not checkers. When I started, I was playing checkers, and I made a big mistake, right? I was offered to sell my business, one of my businesses that I closed recently, which is funny because we're reading the book. I got done reading the book, The One Thing from Gary Keller that you're talking about, that you're reading. Book changed my life, right? That's a whole nother subject. But I closed the business down because it was taking too much of my time, energy, and efforts. And the amount of net that it was making didn't equal the amount of time, effort, stress, so on and so forth. Kind of like we were talking about all the businesses. So I shut it down. But if I would have known what I just said right now, I could have put a CEO in place, removed myself from it, and sold it at X evaluation.
But you said somebody offered to buy it?
Somebody offered to buy it, but I at the time, that was the business I was focusing on. Like, I thought I was going to blow this thing up. I didn't know that I was going to have X amount of companies and 50 employees, right? And then it was going to be chaotic, right? So now what I'm focusing on is all my time and energy goes into one business, and there's management in place, right? CEOs, COOs, directing managers, like taking care of the other businesses. And of course, my margin, what I make on the company, drastically decreases. But guess what doesn't decrease? My output, time, and energy that I can put into the one thing that's bringing me a majority of the money. So I'd rather make 20% or 15% on these other businesses and not touch it and have management in place and still hold the evaluation so I can exit it, versus me being this crazy, chaotic 70, 80 hour a week, no stress, health declining freak of nature, trying to be managing 5, 6 different companies. And that's what I was telling you. Like, one company, like so many people, like entrepreneurs, we like to multitask. We got ADHD. A lot of us are creators. Like, we want to do everything. We got an idea. We want to take over the world. And what happens is you have a spike, then you have a drop, then you have a spike and a drop, and it's doing this, and they're all over. They don't all go up like this unless you have management in place. You have a CEO, a COO, and you have people taking care of it and running it. And all you got to do is hop on a board meeting, or you just got to hop on a Zoom call and tell them what to do from a strategy level. I didn't know that, right? And this is plays that we're doing in our businesses now.
All right. So what was the business that you closed down? What did they offer to buy it at? And okay, what was the business?
So remember I told you my mentor was a manufacturer and distributor.
Yes.
I took his stuff, sold it on Amazon. So I went business to consumer. He was business to business. So what I did is I built a direct competitor to him. So we got all the money and I was business to business. So my supplier and mentor was a business to business. I bought from him, sold it business to consumer for high margin. And then I bought from him and sold business to business and created a different company.
And you became his competitor.
But strategically, Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal, says, control the space, dominate the sector. One of my biggest strategies on Amazon is creating competition. I get a product, create the brand, develop the product, launch it, crush the competition, then build a competitor. So if you don't go from me, you go from me, you go to me, right? So, and look at it. Competition is the best marketing. Why do you think Burger King is next to Apple's? Why do you think CVS is next to Walgreens? So success leaves clues. You just got to look for them. Right? You go to Menards, Lowe's is right there. You go to Home Depot, Lowe's is right there. You go to McDonald's, Burger King's right there, or Taco Bell. You go to Walgreens, CVS is right there. So I did the same thing with businesses. So I said I had the wholesale side of it, which is business to business, and it was low margin. It was just taking up a lot of my time and energy. My other business that I was focusing on, that's a passion project, which is my education and my training and my softwares and all that, was declining. And I was just stressed out. My health was declining. My time with my family was declining. Everything was declining, and it just wasn't worth it, right? So I exited that business. And I was offered, at the time, I want to say 3.1 million on that. I could have just exited it. And I was like, no, I was going to be supplying everybody. I was going to be the kingpin of and it didn't. So it was a life lesson. It didn't.
How much was it bringing in when you got offered that 3.1 million?
So the business was making about 3.5 million a year, but not generating gross.
Yeah,
the net margin. Yeah, the net margins on that was about 12%. So it was very low, right? Because I kept the wholesale and I kept the Amazon different, 2 different companies. The Amazon was 30%. I'm like, why the heck am I doing this, dealing with all this, locking up all this capital when I could just send everything over here, put a VA in place? Like, my Amazon business is just like my rental properties. I've got 50 units. I'd put an hour in a month to manage my 50 apartment buildings. My Amazon stores are up and running, been generating me income the last several years. I put maybe 2 to 3 hours in, because once you find the product, you create the listings, you have the relationships with the supplier, you put a VA that you get on onlinejobs.ph for $3 to $5 an hour, run the entire business. They manage the reviews, they order more products for you, they manage everything, they check emails, they do everything for you. And now it's semi-passive. I say semi-passive, but it's a pretty passive business.
Wow. After you were closing it down, you didn't think to reach out to the company like, hey, man, I got that. Remember that business you wanted?
So here's the thing, and this is crazy. We were having a conversation about, man, you getting all type of gems. Hey, you guys are getting too many bars here, man. Where are we at on the time? No, so we were talking about this today, and I told one of my friends this at lunch. like Ty Lopez has just bought Pier 1 Imports, the intellectual property, and Radio Shack, and he's buying it for the intellectual property and the data. So the thing is, even though I shut the business down, the business didn't bankrupt. I shut the business down. I still have 70,000 emails. I still have 27,000 customers. I still have all the domains. I still have all the trademarks. I still have all the suppliers. So the good thing is, even though it's dormant and not profitable or generating income, I own the intellectual property and the assets that I can use in another business or I can sell. So like Ty Lopez, what he's doing is he's buying these businesses that are going out of business, getting rid of the actual physical locations, but he owns the actual digital assets, which is the customer information. Right. So even though I didn't take the money and the business isn't generating money now, I still have the digital assets. So I can use the list, I can sell the list, so on and so forth. So there's still value in that.
And what is your ultimate play? Is your ultimate play like selling all these businesses and going?
So my long-term play now is that this is recent. What I told you about the EBITDA and transform. Whenever we changed everything from education to the SaaS, we increased the valuation. Now, like my 5-year play now is to build up everything and remove myself. Like brands are very hard to sell that are attached to a personal brand. Like ClickFunnels is valued at $1 billion, but nobody will give ClickFunnels $1 billion. Do you know why?
Because it's built off of Russell. Everybody knows Russell.
Because if Russell was out of the picture, ClickFunnels would suck. The software is just okay. Even though I use it, I made millions with it, it's just okay. It's the infrastructure that he built. It's the personal brand around him. Right? So the AMZ formula is me. I've done everything. A lot of my other brands in my education is me. So what we've done is we found a way to increase the value, increase the experience that everybody gets, and replace myself so I can work at a higher level, which is strategically, how can I make everything better? Strategically, how can I make everything work better? And how can I increase the valuations and make the software better? So for the last year, I've been working with the team developing AMZ Hunter. So now I have all this time and energy to make one of the best Amazon softwares on the planet. But all of my students are getting massive value because now instead of a call with me, you get a call every week with a different coach. So it's a win-win situation. The students are getting more help. They're getting more value. I'm producing a better product, and I'm able to help transition things from being a personal brand to now a company. Because now if you have coaches, guess what? Coaches can get replaced. You can't replace me, right? So a big thing is introducing coaches and introducing like Peloton. Like Peloton could sell because you could just go get anybody who's a bicyclist to run a play. But if it was the person, like David Shands is the face of Peloton, it would be hard to sell, right? So I'm still very engaged in the community. I do a lot of stuff.
P90X was attached to like the people.
Exactly.
Like, see, what was his name? Sean?
Yeah, the dude, you know exactly. And that's why it didn't work. Same play with George Foreman.
Yeah.
Same play. So as creators, it's our babies. Like we love being a part of it.
About that.
But it's huge. Like after talking to venture capitalists and paying absorbent amounts of money for people who have exited $100 million deals, and they're telling me the criteria, what they're looking for, I'm like, I got to think on another level. This isn't just a hustle to make some money. Like going from 7 to 8 figures and 8 figures to a 9-figure exit is a totally different thing. They want sustainability. They want predictability. Continuity helps. They don't want it attached to one single person. They want to eliminate any variable, kind of like an insurance company. They want to check your blood. They want to check everything. They want to eliminate every variable that something's going to happen to you. So a venture capitalist is the same way, or an investor is the same way. Think about if you were to put your money up. You're thinking like, what happens if something happens to you? What happens if this? What happens if this? So it's the same situation. So now I'm just trying to strategize everything to make it more corporate, more professional, and not specifically, needed upon me being attached.
Dang, that's dope. So I could literally never sell this podcast.
I didn't mean to drop. By the way, boom.
Well, the good news is I love doing this, but it moves my mind to kind of what EYL is doing, right? With Earn Your Leisure. They got, shouts out, I'm on the Earn Your Leisure network. So they build this network of podcasters, right? And they don't need me because there's another podcaster out there they can put in my place if I ever say, yo, I'm out of here. Yeah. And then they can sell the network because it's not based on any one person's
It's a big play.
likeness.
Yep, it's not. Yeah, shout out to Rashad and Troy. But it's not, it's big. It's a big play. It's a whole nother situation. Just like Jay-Z, and it's crazy. Like we was just chatting about this yesterday. I was just with Rashad and them.
With Jay-Z?
Yeah, like no, not with Jay-Z. No. Yeah. You know, I was just we were talking about this. Jay-Z, like, he's a billionaire. He's very successful. You always see him around all these other people, but Jay-Z's a connector. The whole brunch play is a connection. He brings all these different moving pieces, all these different people, brings them, puts them in one area, and then feeds off and builds businesses and creates business synergies and relationships. And that's where he makes all his money. If you look at the strategic plays, now he's on the board with Twitter, right? He's on all these different boards. He sold a fraction of his company recently for several $100 million, but he's still a part of the play. And now he's got the business relationships. So it's all about the synergies. It's all about the relationships. It's all about being able to move those pieces around, right?
Oh my gosh. How much did you know already before this? All right. So I had another question for you. Oh, so with your like students, how often do they get to have these conversations? Like, are you in the group, or like you just kind of teach your coaches?
So we have the coaches, like all the and here's another thing, like coaches aren't like we just put applications out there. Hey, you know the thing. All the coaches work in my actual business, my Amazon business, like part of the team, my advertisement team, my graphic artist, Eileen, which is my director of operations, or they're the most successful students that been underneath my training. Like Joseph O'Connell, one of our most successful students, did over close to $1 million, got his first investment property, retired himself and his wife, been traveling around the world. He's one of the coaches, right? The PPC instructor is actually one of the coaches PPC is the pay-per-click, deals with the advertising. He actually works for me in my Amazon business. So everything that I'm doing inside my Amazon business, they're teaching, or everything that is being taught is something that they've executed on my behalf. Like they were a student, they won, they took action, they got massive results.
That's valuable, bro. Like I don't necessarily.
It is. Do you see how I'm saying though?
Yeah, 100%. Because I don't necessarily need to talk to the owner of Walmart. I want to talk to the manager who knows every piece of it, that's like super in it, because like you're in your Lambos and all your jets and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's even more beneficial for your students to talk to the people who are like really still in the fight every single day, getting the marching orders from you. But do the students ever get to talk to you? Do you ever pop in there?
Yeah, so once in a while I do pop-ups. We have a Telegram chat, which is active, and I'm trying to be in there as active as humanly possible. We do random meetups. I go live into Facebook every once in a while. So I try to be as much in the community as humanly possible. But it's like when I don't want to talk
to you anymore. I want to talk to your guys. Like,
yeah, it's like
I would get my Amazon store, and I want to talk to those cats.
Yeah, it's crazy. The value is crazy, and just everybody's been growing. The community is amazing. So it's all about adding as much value as humanly possible, making sure everybody levels up. And now I can, like, from a bird's eye view, see and move these moving pieces to make it better. Like we're implementing the software, and we're implementing all these different changes and our platforms, and what different trainings we're adding and systems and so on and so forth.
Gosh, and does the actual content on what to do, how to do, all that kind of stuff, that's you?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. So the AMZ formula is like over 15 hours. It's step-by-step, A to Z, high quality video and audio. Each and every video has a PDF instruction. It has the transcript of it. We have templates, resources, contracts, contacts, everything, right? And it's all from
like
A to
list
Z.
Of like, you have like some lists of suppliers and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, everything. So like websites, links, suppliers, cease and desist letters, package stuffers, anything and everything that you can think of. Literally anything you need to start, build, or grow this business is inside of that. Like it's called the AMZ formula, not because it's some marketing thing. It's the formula I developed through trial and error. Like you see the cartoons where the scientists are making stuff, they do something wrong, it blows up. They do something wrong, it blows up, and then they make the thing. So that's what happened over the last several years is I was trying through trial and error, building a successful 8-figure business. That's everything that I do, everything that I know, and it's constantly updated.
And right now they can go to, what is it, Social Proof?
FBA.
FBA, Social Proof. F is in Frank, B is in boy, A is in apple.
Yep.
Social Proof FBA. Okay. All right. So yes, let's get into that together, y'all. Because I feel like that'd be something like I'm still on my Super One thing, but my wife would probably enjoy. I mean, it's not necessarily housing all the product and shipping and all. It's just figuring out what to sell.
Exactly.
What about marketing? How do we get people to the store?
Absolutely. So remember, the difference between Google and Amazon is people are going to Amazon ready to buy.
Ready to buy.
So there's areas that we can put keywords, and like without going too like nerdy on it, like Amazon's a search engine just like Google. Mm-hmm. So when you go and you type in baseball bat on Google, people are going to show up. The person who shows up first has the best ranking, right? So there's multiple variables that go into ranking. Amazon's algorithm, the 8-9 algorithm, is a lot less complex than Google. Like to rank something on Google with SEO takes 6 months, maybe even a year, depending on how competitive. On Amazon, it's just a matter of like the listing quality, keyword density, the amount of volume that it's getting, price point. There's multiple different variables that go into it. So it's much easier to rank.
Detail, sake of time.
Absolutely, everything. Okay. And then again, if this sounds like techno-blabble, like everything is easy, concise, step by step. I share my screen. I show you everything. Like, I don't know if you ever tried to run Facebook ads before. I have agencies run my Facebook ads. Bro. It's ridiculous. You got to put the code on the page. You got to move all this stuff. You got to navigate it. On Amazon, when you set it up, it's about this long. There's 4 or 5 buttons to click. You put the keywords in there. You put the price. You hit start. Like the reason why in 2018, Jeff Bezos' letter to shareholders, he said that the reason why we're growing so much is because the people that use our platform are growing so much. Facebook's $1 billion company, one of the most successful companies in the world. Why are they? Because they're advertising. You can all sign up for free, but I pay to advertise to all of y'all. So that's how it works with Amazon. Amazon makes all their money off the advertising, makes money off the Prime, makes money off all these different things. So the easier they make it for us to advertise, the more money we spend advertising, because the more money we'll make advertising. So a lot of people think like, oh, well, isn't Amazon just going to steal your product? It doesn't make sense for them to steal your product, put up the capital to make the product, manufacture the product, ship the product, advertise the product, when they can just help you sell more of it and they make 100% profit. Think about it. Like they make profit off of everything. They have the #1 UPS contract. They've got robots at their facility. They make PPC costs them nothing. It doesn't cost them any money to show your product up in search results when they type in your keyword, right? It doesn't cost them anything. It doesn't cost Facebook anything. That's why they're so profitable.
Oh, all right. So yes, social proof, FBA. Let's be a part of that. But I gotta like try to touch on this this marketing stuff, bro, because
yeah.
You literally like blew my mind while I was at this mastermind in terms of the psychology and how people buy in terms of different products and all that kind of stuff. So you'll launch a product and you just run the bag up crazily. But it's not just because you're just hitting a button or it's ads. So you're walking me through like why this comes after this and why this has to say this and all that kind of stuff. So if we can touch on marketing real briefly, man, because
that's crazy. That's broad, man. Marketing, like
I know it is,
man. But that's a whole nother episode. Let me see.
100%.
So it depends on the product that you're selling, right? But I want to tell you this: like the easiest way to sell anything is with a funnel. And what a funnel is like. People it's not advantageous as a business owner that's marketing anything to just have a website, right? To just have a website. Like funnels are crazy. Outside of Amazon, it's totally different. Like the funnel wouldn't work with Amazon, but for info products, coaches, consultants, anything in that field, any type of business, even chiropractors, doctors, doesn't matter. Funnels are where it's at because you can do multiple different things. You can collect data. You can have a lead magnet where you're exchanging something of value to collect their information and it collects leads. You can, when you're selling things, you can have multiple different flows like the upsells, the downsells, the one-time offers. So now you're increasing your UPT, which is unit per transaction, and your ACV, which is average cart value, increasing your LTV, which is lifetime customer value. So those are key metrics. When you're trying to scale, like we spent $2 million in advertising last year. When you're trying to scale and spend more money in advertising, you have to know these key metrics. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to scale. You're going to become unprofitable at a point if you can't optimize and hit those targets. So one of the easiest ways that you can do this is by having these funnels. And it can be multiple different variables: selling more of the product, selling product that's similar, selling other cross-promotional products, selling memberships, all different types of things, man.
So let's go real crazy. Say I'm a coach, right? And I'm helping people become their best selves through motivation or inspiration, right?
Okay.
If I was your personal one-on-one client, right, and you were going to like coach me through how to make my first $1 million this year as a coach, and you know my message. I have a book. Let's say I wrote a book. what advice would you give me?
So I'll get to the book in a second. Like the fastest way to make $1 million humanly possible with a coaching, consulting program, digital course, membership, mentorship, anything like that in reference to education or information is going to be a webinar presentation, right? Now, there's multiple different variables like I kind of explained at the Mastermind. You have like, let's just go from 1 to 10K. Let's just go from 1 to 2K and then 2K above. Anything under 2K, you can do a webinar, which is like a 90-minute presentation.
Under 2K, like
price point.
You're off for $2,000.
Yeah. Okay, so anything that you're selling that's $1,000 to $2,000, you could do a webinar presentation, which is just a presentation. It's roughly around 90 minutes, where what you're doing is you're giving them information, inspiration, and motivation. You're giving those 3 different things. You're answering questions, you're teaching them, and then you're presenting an offer.
Because you didn't give me that, I don't think, the last time.
Yeah.
Okay, information,
inspiration, and motivation.
Inspiration. And what is the difference between the 3?
So look at it like this. You sell with logic, right? Because people want to logically make sure that it makes sense. And then you close with emotion.
Sell with logic.
You have to hit both of them.
It gets spicy. Hold on.
You have to hit.
Sell with logic and we what?
You sell with logic and you close with emotion. So you want to hit on both of those. That's going to increase your conversions. So we hit on inspiration, motivation, and information, right? Inspiration is why will they feel inspired to do it? Mm-hmm. Motivation is why should they do it, right? And then the information is how they do both of those.
Got you.
Right. So we hit on all of that stuff. What another thing that you could do?
So if I was a coach, you would say, come up with $1,000 to $2,000 offer.
Yeah, immediately. Another thing is whatever. Like I told you in Miami, if you want to double your business, the easiest way anybody listening can double their business in the next 90 days is to double their price. Done. Simple metric. Like so many people are focused on
gradually.
Here's the problem. Like I'm telling you, I launched a product at 500, wanted to serve the world, was doing okay. Took it to 1,000, doubled it, was nervous, thought I was going to get resistance, served more people, right? Started selling a higher ticket after that, served more people. What you have to understand is there's different levels of people, right? If you're selling something for $19, you might not be able to serve the person who's following you that's at $5,000. There's different needs, right? Look at it like if you look at a restaurant menu, right? You may be able to get a burger, but you still have a steak. So you got a $7 burger and you got a $40 steak. It's 2 different clientele. So one of the biggest mistakes I made is not charging enough, right? The best thing that you could do for your clients is charge more. Why? Because if you pay attention. And where there's a transaction, there's transformation, right? Hey, like the more you pay, the more you're going to put into it. Like a $20 ebook, it's like, I ain't opening that. It's a dub. You know, like it's $20. If I get to it, I
had ebooks to support my friends for $20 or $10.
Never opened it.
Like never even opened it.
You put a couple $1,000s down on something, you better believe you ain't just putting it up on the shelf, right? So that's kind of how it is. Anything that's higher ticket that I would say is like above 2K, so 2K to 10K, what I like to do is to get them on the phone, right? Because it's very hard to sell something so high ticket without physical one-on-one communication. So that works very well. And the vehicle we use is a VSL. It's a video sales letter. Mm-hmm. So that's not a webinar where we're asking for money at the end. It's where we're saying book a call. So what we're doing is strictly, we're not doing all the other stuff. We don't need the emotional, logic, all that stuff. All we want to do is point blank what it is, why it works, why they should do it, give them some qualification standards in reference to how much they need or how it works or what they can expect, and then put them through an app and from the app a phone call. And what that does is make sure it's a good fit for both parties.
So webinar to a call.
VSL, it's a video sales letter. So like 20-minute video. After the 20-minute video, you tell them, hey.
Oh, this is different than the webinar.
Yeah, webinar is just to sell something 1 to 2K. Like you want to make $1 million fast, you have a $1,000 product, you have a $2,000 product, do a webinar, do that presentation till you make $1 million. Like you should do that. Did I do that? Yeah, so I did a webinar 2 years straight every Sunday.
Every Sunday?
Every Sunday.
For 2 years straight?
Yep, for 2 years, yep. For 2 years, because you get better every single time. You learn more every single time. You can serve more people on a personal level. So it's a win-win situation.
Same presentation?
Same presentation.
See, I would be nervous that the same, like somebody's, they would be judging me, I think, because they know it's, here's the joke. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
And here's the thing. I get it out the way. Like, We start the webinar. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for showing up. Blah, blah, blah. Small talk. How many of you guys in the chat box down below think I'm going to say you something here today? Everybody says yes. Don't worry. I won't let you down. We started. We're 3 minutes in. I already told I'm going to say you something. So the thing is, when you try to like act like you're teaching people and then ask for money, it's not right. It's not genuine. When you serve somebody and you help somebody and you give them game and then you make an offer and it's not like forcing down their throat and they can make the decision, it's a whole different situation because you're serving them. Grant Cardone says if you don't sell them, you hurt them. Why? Because if you don't offer your knowledge to your clientele and you genuinely know you want to help people, you want to serve people, you care about people, you're ethical, right? And you don't sell them the information, guess what? Your competitor who doesn't care about them will. So the best thing you could do, and that's something I wanted to be the cheapest for everything. I wanted to please everybody on human earth, and I couldn't help anybody. So I had an epiphany, and it relates to what we did, and this is in one of my companies. It's charge more.
That gotta be Neo. That gotta be Neo. Is that Neo?
Lambo showing?
I can hear him. It's a bunch of Lambos outside.
My friends must have followed me.
Yo, tell them to turn them cars down. Yeah. It's like 5 of them. In a Bentley. Oh, so Pushman's in the building. Dad got it. Yeah. All right, see, we can't have no privacy.
So the epiphany that I had was charge more, pay more, make more.
Charge more, pay more,
make more. So charge more for my products, pay more to my employees and the people in my community, and make more money as a result.
Charge more, pay more,
make more.
Make more.
So you get paid in direct proportion to the value that you bring to others.
Hold on one second. Neo, we're shooting an interview. Neo, okay? Yeah, now turn them cars down.
You got the 30 cars flying up.
Okay, all right, so charge more, pay more, make more. And I like that philosophy.
Yeah, it was an epiphany I had. So, because when you're trying to please everybody and you have a low ticket item, you can't pay your people more money. If you can't pay them more money, you can't hire better staff. If you hire better staff, you're going to get more value to your community. They're going to get better results. So it's a circle. The more you can put into your community, the more you can put into the people who serve your community, the more they'll make, the more they'll appreciate you, the longer they'll stay. It's just a win-win situation. So now, like, instead of trying to focus on saving planet Earth, I'm focusing on my core audience at a specific price, and I'm not feeling bad about it because I know I can offer the best product that exists on the planet. I know I can hire the best people, and I don't have to try to cut budgets and save money and stuff because of margins and scaling and all this other stuff. Now the margin's there, which means I can spend more on ads, which means I can reach more people, I can serve more people, and I can change more people's lives.
I love it. I made this post the other day. And it was a serious, genuine question that I had. Lifestyle marketing. Does it work? Is it needed? Like what do you think about that? Because, what do you think about like the whole lifestyle marketing? So I think you play in that box, right? Yeah, a little bit of everything, man. I hit different angles. So I think the main thing is that you want to diversify and hit different angles, right? There's so many different ways that you could be. The thing that's going to work the best is being yourself. Like if you try to do something that somebody else is doing, like Gary Vee or somebody else, and that's not you, it's not your personality, you're going to get resistance. But if you be yourself, guess what? There's 7 billion people in the world. You only got to sell $1,000 product to 1,000 people to make $1 million. That's 1,000 people out of 7 billion. So if you're yourself, there's millions upon millions upon millions of people that are just like you or that can relate to you or that will love you. You can't please everybody. So like, I'm okay with that. I understand not everybody's going to like me. Some people won't respect me. They won't like me. Whatever. That's cool. I don't want to please everybody, but I do want to help as many people as possible. I've just been myself and I've always focused on over delivering and just giving, like pouring my heart out, giving them everything, like giving the gift away. Right? So many people are like, I don't want to teach them too much. I don't want to give them too much. What if they don't buy? You gave everything away on this.
I give you everything. Bro. Like there's none. This is everything I'm doing. Everything that I did to scale to make millions of dollars. My future to sell to make millions of dollars. What's making me millions of dollars. I give it all away.
But so is that a part of a strategy though? In terms of, all right, I'm on a jet, and it's legit. It's not Bow Wow Challenge stuff, right? Like it's like legit. You actually own these cars that you're posting in front of.
Yeah.
Do I need to do more of that? What do you
So
think?
what my thing is, like, I just want to show the culture and the people what's like. I don't do that to bogue or brag or boast or any of that. I just want to show the culture what's possible. Yeah. Like a lot of us, like I remember when I was young and I seen my first car, Lamborghini, like I thought you had to be a movie star or like a artist or somebody or like, you know what I mean? So to be able to show people like, listen, I still don't have a high school diploma. I have a 9th grade education, right? I was a felon until I was able to get it expunged. Like you don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be, somebody of high net worth to be able to live a nice life. So I'm constantly doing that to inspire, motivate, and show transparency. But also, like, that's just me living my life. Like, if I turn the Instagram off, I'm still going to fly private, right? In Texas, we got a foot of snow. Commercial was shut down. I took my whole family private to Miami. We went from Miami to Virgin Islands. I'm still going to do it. If social media didn't exist, I'd still have a Lamborghini. That's what I want to do. And I feel that you shouldn't cheat yourself. You should treat yourself, right? But that's a whole nother story. Like the house, the cars, the trips, the jets, everything, all of these depreciating assets are assets that are non-performing or paid for off of performing passive investments. So I got 50 apartments. They pay for my mortgage, house on the golf course with the pool. They pay for my car, right? Stocks, the investments, the other investments, I'm about to grab a few trucks. All these other passive investments pay for the toys. They pay for the trips, right? I use my credit card. I use a Gold American Express. I've got several million points, a Gold American Express to buy products and to run advertisement. I get 4x points on 2 different categories. All of the gear, when I go to Saks Fifth, I'm liquidating credit card points. It's free money, right? When I go and I take my kids shopping to Nike and I get them these $70, $80 shoes, $150 shoes, I'm not buying them. I'm liquidating these credit card points, right? And I'm buying it with that card. Every Sunday, I take my family out to dinner. I don't work on Sundays. What I do is I take them out to eat and I liquidate my credit card points from my Amex, which is just points for using it for my business. Wow. Right? It's just simple stuff that like that. And like another play, like it's going to help a lot of you guys. This is going to allow you to 50x the amount of interest that you're making on your savings. So many of us have money stored away for a rainy day, right? So you're getting 0.001 interest from the bank. Simply take it and put it into a high yield savings bank with like American Express. They're going to give you 0.5%. Now, you're not going to get rich off that, but 2 things are going to happen. Number one, you're getting 0.5% instead of 0.1%, right? So you're getting more money for free for doing nothing with no risk. And on top of that, now when you go to apply to increase your credit card limits, you're going to get a higher valuation. You're going to get higher approvals based off of the money saved with the company.
You're a genius, bro. Yo, keeping it real with you, like just a true wealth of knowledge, man. And I just learned so much in this like short hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes, man. And outside of the podcast, I can attest that like literally it's at dinner, you're giving me the same game. Yeah. And then after the mastermind, it's like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's still like, yo, let me show you. And then like when you were going, you're like, oh, here's my 5 pages. Just model your offers after these. Absolutely. And I can truly say you've never asked for anything in return.
I can tell you like this is a philosophy. I really don't know where it came from, but it's a blessing being a blessing. Like I feel like when you plant seeds, like you'll reap a harvest. Like I'm constantly planting seeds. Like I give it away. Like I give my best stuff away. I help people all the time. And when you do it truly with no intent, like you don't want anything, I feel like that's when these seeds multiply. Like I believe in energy. I believe in reciprocity. I believe a lot in like the law of the universe and law of attraction. Like I'm very, very practical, and I'm very I'm real safety with like I have a safety net over my energy. Like I'm always trying to have a positive energy. I'm always trying to have positive relationships. I'm always trying to help people as much as humanly possible that I can with zero expectations, right? So I'm just constantly planting seeds. And it maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, but that's something that I feel like is an attribution to my success. Like just genuinely helping people with no expectations. Like,
man, I appreciate it. I definitely feel comfortable putting my wife in the Amazon program, because I know it's coming from a genuine place and you truly know what you're talking about.
Right. Off.
So look, I gotta do a quick commercial, and I'm gonna come back with a final question for you. Okay. So And you got to close it out with something deep and thought-provoking. Okay. So you can think about that, okay?
Deep and thought-provoking. All right.
So this episode is sponsored, as always, by The Morning Meetup, themorningmeetup.com, which is the only organization that gathers every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurship. Josh, did you know every morning I'm on a call with hundreds of entrepreneurs that I'm coaching, teaching, and they're all in various industries. Some people, they're not even entrepreneurs, but they join because they want to be entrepreneurs. They want to be inspired and they want to learn stuff. And they have people like you come on. Have you come on the Morning Meetup yet?
No, you know what? I got to check it out, man.
I've been asleep. On there and speak.
I've been sleeping.
You're going to come on, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right, bet. But I wanted to tell the people that the Morning Meetup is not only has it taken everybody that's a part of it, their business to the next level, but it really truly helps me. Because imagine waking up, having these types of inspirational, motivational, educational conversations every day. And some people go to work and every day it's negative. I don't want to be here. The stuff I don't want to do, right? And it just starts your day at a whole nother level. So go to themorningmeetup.com. If you want to try it out, you can be on for $1. $1 for 7 days. Wow. You never know. Josh might be on the day for the $1.
Yeah, $1. Come on. I'm signing up immediately, man. It's $1.
Absolutely, man. So join the Morning Meetup. We'd love to have you. Josh, I got to ask you a question, man. I like to make predictions on the podcast. And I want to know where you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years so that I can watch this and say, yo, he said that 5 years ago. Look at him. He's doing it. So next 5 to 10 years.
That's funny because this is what I'm working on right now. We kind of discussed it. So right now I'm focusing on a large exit. Like I'm focusing on setting my business up 5 years out. In 5 years, I want to sell my company for, multiple 8 figures, possibly close to 9 figures. That was the whole play that I told you. So that's what I'm working on. I'm taking all of that. I'm putting it into real estate, and I'm gonna grow my real estate and chill with my family, man. That's my whole play until I find the next thing. So that's what I'm working on right now. I got a few other things in the pipeline, but that's what I can tell you.
You think you'll get acquired in the next 5 years? 5 to 10.
It's not about how, it's about when. See, remember when you have the strategy, it's not about thinking about the outcome. You know it's gonna happen. It's just about when. See, people give up. Remember, they don't start or they give up. You know why? Because they don't know that answer when. Right? I can tell you play basketball every day for the next 3 years, you'll be better. It's inevitable. You can't argue with me. You'll lose that bet. You know why people give up? Because they don't know when they're going to get better. They don't know when they're going to get to that level of skill set, and they can't handle that. That's why the 1% has what the 99% doesn't. So I know it's not about how, it's about when. I just got to keep throwing shots and not looking at the counter.
He's been doing this for an hour and a half now. He's been doing this for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Did you learn everything you know from DL?
Yeah, me and him like MCs, man. Yeah, we like MCs, like Biggie and Pac before the beef.
Oh, for sure. All right, yo, well, thank you. I got to get you to close it out. Listen, if you go to Social Proof FBA.
Social Proof FBA.
One, you'll save more money by going to that website we'll have below than actually going to his website. So thank you.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. And I'm super excited about being involved and getting my own story because that's an asset. Right?
Absolutely. Been telling Brandon, man, he's sleeping, man. So sleep is for suckers. So hopefully you'll take action on it.
I'm gonna go make $2 million. I'm gonna show him like, he told you before he told me.
Yeah.
Look at it. So do me a favor. How can people reach out to you, man? And I need you to close this out with a word of wisdom.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's official Joshua Crisp on Instagram, Joshua Crisp on YouTube, hundreds of free videos worth of game, no selling, no BS. The podcast is from nothing to something. I'm getting back and going into the podcast, so I have to get you on there and school me in the podcast game. Other than that, you can check out is Social Proof FBA. Join the program, take action, join it through the link, save $100. You can see if you go to AMZ Formula, it's $1,000. You don't have any of the bonuses. So I'm always open. If they want to DM me, they want to reach out, I'm here to help any way is possible, any way that I can possible. And I just want to recap on this. Like, if you guys get anything from this, I've said it over and over and over again. If you get anything from this podcast, like the biggest key that I can give you in anything and everything that you're doing is understand that everything is possible, everything is obtainable, nothing is as hard as it seems, and the only way that you can fail is by not starting or by giving up. You have to understand that the enemy is in the enemy right? Anything you want to do is obtainable. You just have to start and you cannot give up. You will have self-limiting beliefs. You will have objections. You will have barriers. You will hit walls. You will have colleagues, friends, family members doubting you, telling you to stop, telling you you're not good enough, but do not share large dreams, large goals with small-minded people because you're going to fall to their perspective. Their perspective is not where yours are. Their ambition is not where yours are. Stop focusing on the adversity. Stop focusing on where you're at, your age, your credit, your situation, how many kids you got, the situation with your family. Understand when you point one finger at anything or anyone, you got three pointing back at you. You're the only one that will make you successful. You're the only one that'll change your situation. No one's going to come do it for you. So let's get to work.
We can't close it out no better than that, man. Do me a favor. Go get you some social proof, okay? Go build something. And I want you to do exactly what Josh did. Come back to the community. Go on a podcast. Tell people the game. Record some videos. Give people the game. Get a podcast. Give people the game. Because you have to go get that social proof and take it back to your community and teach somebody else how to do it, okay? Go to Social Proof FBA and let's get started. We are out of here. Peace.
Let's get it.
What if I told you for $1, I will introduce you to hundreds of entrepreneurs every single morning this week? From all across the country, you'll be able to talk to hundreds of entrepreneurs and I'll coach you. I'll coach you for $1 this whole week. And I'll introduce you to some of my successful friends for $1 this week. Would you take part in that? Well, go to themorningmeetup.com because that's exactly what we're doing here, okay? The only organization that gathers entrepreneurs every single day for the betterment of entrepreneurship, okay? Every single day, Monday through Friday, we gather, we're growing, we're learning. We got a book club. Have you ever seen hundreds of entrepreneurs reading the same book? Every single chapter, every single day, we're growing together, okay? You need the environment to grow in. Themorningmeetup.com, $1. I'm gonna give you all this for $1. If you wanna stay, great. It's $79 a month after that. If not, no obligation. You can leave whenever you want. All right? Themorningmeetup.com. I'll see you in the morning.